Cool. I will share the presentation and then we can get started. Cool. So welcome everyone to the monthly product show and tell. It's the time of the month where we just do a quick recap of the things that we released last month and we announced either in the newsletter or on the app or on the social media platforms. And then, we just go through the features, take questions and take feedback, most importantly. And then we send the recording towards the end of the webinar. So pretty straightforward. So we got a pretty exciting agenda for today. Some really amazing features. One is email to SMS. Ben is going to go talk about that in depth. And then the ability to send and receive audio messages, easier inbox navigation, and then a security feature, namely two-factor authentication. So before we get too deep into the conversation, myself, I'm Tawheed Al-Tuwaibi. I am a product marketing manager here at Salesmsg, and I got Ben with me here. So,
yeah, hey everybody. My name is Ben Francis. If we haven't had the chance to meet yet, I head up the customer success and support teams here at Salesmsg. So how to best utilize Salesmsg to achieve your team's goals? That's what myself and my team is here for. We've got some really exciting stuff to cover, some stuff that we've fielded requests from our customers throughout the year, and we are really excited to put a bow on some of these features, pun intended, to deliver them in the holiday season. So I think you're really going to like them.
Cool. All right. So without further ado, first feature on the list is email to SMS. So in short, that's the ability to reply to your messages from your email inbox. But I'm going to pause it there and pass it over to you, Ben, to kind of go through it and then give us a quick demo.
Absolutely. So the impetus for this feature was really, we have customers that are beyond just using texting for their sales or marketing type of function, although this works for both of those as well. But there was this request primarily stemmed from customers that are operating mostly in the post-sales space, where I have, say, like a customer support team or some sort of post-sale team that is more configured to run customer engagements through kind of like a ticket or like an inbox type of format, where having a bunch of people in Salesmsg may not always make sense, although we absolutely support that as an option to have multiple people in a single inbox. Sometimes it's just easier to be able to send out those text conversations that you're fielding to a specific inbox. So we spun up the feature to be able to take those email or those SMS engagements and push them out directly via email. So I'll show you what this looks like on the HubSpot ecosystem, which is where we fielded a majority of the requests. Is I really want to have my team using HubSpot as our record of truth, our daily driver platform, to be able to manage those conversations and have everyone in a specific HubSpot inbox. So I'll show you what that looks like from end to end on our side, but there is no limitation to only use this within HubSpot. We can point these texts that you're fielding on a specific inbox or set of inboxes to whatever end destination you want. So if you want to push those to a distribution list or something like that, you absolutely have the ability to do that as needed. So let's dive in and show you what it looks like. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Tao, can you see it?
I can.
Awesome. So in here, I will go ahead and I'm going to show you how we set this up. So under the settings side, if we go to organization settings here, you now have a tab called email to SMS. This is where we will map what inbox or set of inboxes from Salesmsg need to point to a specific email address. You'll see in our specific case, we're pointing these to a HubSpot email. You can point this to your Gmail or whatever distribution list you want. But if we want to get these, if the goal is to get these into a HubSpot inbox, we're going to grab that inbox ID directly from HubSpot. So if I were to confirm I'm a HubSpot customer, I'm using this, I'm going to go to the inbox here. I'm going to go to the inbox settings, and I'm just going to grab this email address right here. That's all I need. And then we're off to the races. So I'm going to plug that in directly into the email address field here. And I'm going to say, all right, what inbox or set of inboxes do I want to map to point to that destination? So in our case, I'm pointing my specific Salesmsg number to my HubSpot inbox. So let's test this out. Let's show you what it looks like. So I'm going to I'm going to send a text directly to my HubSpot or to my sales message inbox from my personal phone. Here it is. This is a test on the webinar. Then in just a second, we're going to see, look, there it is. So now we triggered that and sent that to my specific inbox directly within HubSpot. So you can see, which phone number, your sales message number, has received a message from which contact. You'll see here, what did the message say? See, we have a couple different options in here. So I can bounce directly to the conversation in sales message to reply directly from there using all of our canned templates, send media assets, all of the good stuff that you're used to with sales message. I can just bounce directly to that conversation. I can manage my notification preferences directly from here, or I can just reply directly from here. So when I hit send here, what this is then going to do, this is going to pass this along to sales message and deliver a response directly. So sales message picked that up directly from HubSpot. I'm going to wait just a second, message delivered, and there it is on my phone, just like that. So I replied to an email, send an outbound message on that same phone number that my customer is interacting with me on. So whether if I'm on the go and it's easier for me to respond via email, or if I need to point this to a specific HubSpot inbox and make sure I can manage my workflow that way, super simple to get that done.
Yeah, so here's the beauty within the, if you don't mind going back to the HubSpot, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as a HubSpot user, you have the ability to assign a task, add a comment. If you click on those three dots, there's a lot of options for you there. Top right corner. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. So if I want to move this to another inbox, if I want to transfer something, say this is, hey, this hit my sales team, actually needs to go to my customer support team, or it needs to be escalated to a different person, I can move those things along directly from here. I can also, tag, I can mention, I can use HubSpot's full suite of functionality. If I wanted to use a workflow where if I get an email from this specific inbox to then create a task or assign a deal, or the options are seemingly endless for how you can trigger different things to happen based on receiving an inbound text.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a very cool feature. I personally like it.
Yeah, it really serves to be like a force multiplier, for those teams that are more configured to set up like an inbox or a ticket type of functionality. We see it happen a lot on the post-sale side, but this can be used for any scenario where I really need a one-to-many type of approach to managing the inbound conversation flow.
Exactly. You can have many numbers and one inbox, one email address, and that email address is used as a shared inbox. Right?
Absolutely.
Cool. So next on the list is yet another way to engage your customers, and that is with audio messages. So I'll pass it back to you, Ben, to show us what that looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just tee this up on my side here. I'm just going to go back to my inbox and let me show you what it looks like. So share my screen. So just like we're used to with sending all kinds of media assets via SMS, we absolutely have the ability to send videos and, as one would expect, audio as well. Being able to to ensure that if we're going to drive the most engagement via an audio-based call to action, or hey, we want to do like a verbal reminder about something, we absolutely have the ability to send that directly. So in here, under the media library section, this houses all of the media assets in my account. GIFs, PNGs, JPEGs, PDFs, all the above, directly from in here. So I can grab any of those at any time, but now I have the ability to grab an audio file directly from here and use that and send that along. So if I wanted to upload like an MP4 or something like that, be able to send that along, I can attach that as a file. You'll see it's playable directly from here. I hit send, and that sends off as an MMS directly. So just one more tool in your toolkit to be able to interact with your customers using like a mixed media type of format rather than just texting. our pictures. You can now have video, audio. So you have the full gamut of resources at your fingertips to be able to drive the most engagement with your customers.
Yeah, and Ben, you can take it further if you click on those three dots in the message window.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
can
So,
actually record the audio like
totally.
on the go. Yeah.
Totally. So just like you had the ability to, if I wanted to record a video directly from here and auto upload that to my media library, you can see right here, I'm in the process of doing that. I can do the same thing on the audio side. So I hit those little three dots, record audio. I hit start recording directly from here. It's going to capture my audio directly. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. And now that auto uploads as an asset directly to my media library to use later on. And there it is, playable directly from here. I can hit done. It attaches. I hit send on this message, and I'm off to the races. So in just a second, I'll get that on my phone, playable as a native audio file.
Cool. And then that audio file, guess what? It was also sent to HubSpot, right? So
Absolutely.
Through that integration.
And I just got it.
Cool stuff. Okay. So moving along here swiftly, next is more of a delighter feature, especially for our customers who have a long list of inboxes. Navigation was, I wouldn't say easy for inboxes before, but I think it got a whole lot easier. So why don't you walk us through what we have been?
Yeah, so actually, let's just pause right here before we jump back to the demo.
Sorry.
So
I'll share my screen.
Yeah, so I always like to set the stage for the why. Why did we build this? And the short answer is really to help our teams manage who we're talking to and on what number are we talking to them on. For a lot of our customers, we have multiple numbers that either represent different agents or different business units or regions or locations, or maybe some combination of all of the above. And sometimes knowing who we're talking to on what inbox becomes a little challenging as the volume of inboxes and numbers we're interacting with our customers on continues to increase. And so taking the logic and grouping functionality from what we're used to on like an email inbox, taking that same methodology and allowing our customers to be able to categorize and group inboxes together. So if I have a regional sales team that has a series of reps in that region, each with their own number, I can group all of those inboxes together and see a top-down visibility of all of those numbers and the conversations those reps are having from one top-down view. And so this allows us the ability to cluster numbers together, but also be able to star and prioritize those inboxes that we want to pay the most attention to. So this allows you to really customize what is most valuable to your team. So in this demo environment here, so you see I've got all of these different phone numbers in here, each with a series of unread messages, things like that. But I also have these buckets here, so like my sales team, my marketing team, my support team, and those have a couple different inboxes within them. So if I wanted to, I'm part of the executive leadership team at an organization, I really just want to get a top-down view of how well each of my business units that are interacting with customers via texting are doing. I have the ability to do that and do some quality assurance, for each of them. So if I want to see how's my support team doing, I pop in here, support, I can see, okay, cool, this is my Dallas number. This is my support inbox. You can see these little gray tags here that associate that conversation to the inbox that is facilitating that conversation. So allowing you to cluster them together, be able to sort between them and see who's working with whom at any given time, and being able to prioritize which ones you need to have fixed up at the top of your view. So if you're a rep who has access to multiple inboxes, but you have one as your primary or maybe a couple, and then you have visibility for some others, you can make sure to have those be at the top of your list and be able to customize those groupings. So let's show how we do that beyond just toggling between them. So if I go to inboxes here, you'll see an option for group inboxes. And this is where I can say which cluster of sales message inboxes do I want to see from one top-down view. So you see here my support one, my marketing one, my main sales, and you see I've got support, Dallas office. In my marketing one, I've got Jonah, Pearl, and Joel, for example. And so I can create another group directly from here. Testing on webinar, for example. I can add a description if I want. And then I can say which numbers or inboxes do I specifically care about. I can just grab as many as I need access to and cluster conversations on all of those inboxes in one view directly from here. I create group inbox, and there it is. And so now when I go back to my inboxes tab, I have an option for testing on webinar, which shows me all conversations on all those numbers that I've added together. So as we're looking to optimize, what is the daily usage of Salesmsg, especially for someone who has access to multiple numbers and multiple conversations, we're really trying to refine what are those features that help us be more efficient, being able to bounce between conversations easier and give us the ability to work a little bit faster and a little bit smarter. And so if there are any ways that we can refine on this process without stealing Tao's thunder at the very end, we would love to hear how we can iterate on this and what are those features that is going to help your team or your agents work just a little bit faster via text. We're really excited about this, but would love your feedback on how well your team uses this in the real world.
Yeah, one last thing there to show, Ben, is the ability. It's very small, but you can now, if you have a long list of inboxes, you can actually search. You don't have to keep scrolling because it does an order by alphabetically, so it will show up the inboxes with unread messages first.
Absolutely.
I think it's only right to round it up with compliance and security as the most entertaining topic, but nonetheless very important. So we added the ability to use two-factor authentication as a secondary layer of security for logging into the Salesmsg app, and this pretty sophisticated feature. There's quite a lot of flexibility in how it's set up, and yeah. So Ben, you can walk us through that. So.
Yeah. So just again, setting the context for the why. We work with clients across a variety of verticals. Some that are in the recruiting and higher ed space, some that are in mortgage finance, and the list goes on and on and on. We are industry agnostic here at Salesmsg because texting as a channel works for everyone, both pre-sale, during the sales process, and even post-sale. And we want to be the platform to facilitate conversations with your customers throughout their life cycle. In order to facilitate those conversations in the most effective way, we need to ensure that the right people have access to those conversations. And those industries that are a bit more sensitive on the compliance side, especially in the mortgage and finance space, or even in the healthcare space with access to PHI or PII, we want to ensure that we have those layers of security to access to the conversations at any given time. And so throughout 2023, we'll be making some sizable investments on the data security encryption side. Our first step towards that journey is the launch of two-factor authentication. So you have the ability to enable this in two different ways. So you can find this feature under the organization settings and under security here. So by toggling this on, requiring two-step authentication, for the team, this, you have the ability to, every user has the ability to, will require this functionality. So if we set on the organization itself, every user will be required to follow through with that two-factor authentication, or I can set it up on the individual member base itself. So in here, if I want to go to Alexander, for example, under permissions in here, actually, I believe it might be in a different spot. Apologies, guys. This is a brand new feature. I'm still
for personal settings. It'll be under personal settings.
Yes, my apologies. So security tab here. So we can either set this up at the organization level where all users are required to input a two-factor authentication code, or I can set this up for each individual user. And I can define what my preference is. So if I want to use an email-based code versus an SMS-based code, I can toggle those on or off at the individual user level as needed. So especially if you want to scope this down to only people that have access to the billing tab or access to the analytics tab or things like that, only people that have those admin level permissions to ensure that we have two-factor authentication for that corner of Salesmsg, you can absolutely scope that.
Yeah.
Anything
So
to add,
and
Tal?
then the authenticator app, you can use any app of your that you choose, whether it's Google Authenticator, Outlook, any other authenticator app. It's very easy to set up with the QR code. And a few things to mention here. If you go back to the members tab, Ben.
Yeah.
Once you do that, you'll be able to see the status of who of your team members have enabled two-factor authentication. Just more of a kind of a compliance bird's eye view all in one place. And then we also, although it's kind of a compliance feature, we did not want to make it too cumbersome. So on login, the users can have the ability to choose between whatever method they want. So let's say they don't have their phone on them, they can do email or vice versa. And then they also have the ability to set like a checkbox where it says like, remember me. So that way, next time they log in, they won't be asked about it for like a few days. We have rules set up in the background to ensure that they're compliant, but at the same time, the feature is not too pushy.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to add additional security protocol to ensure that we're restricting access when appropriate, but we also we don't want to set unnecessary gates for your team to have to go through on a regular basis. It's going to impede your team's ability to be able to interact with their customers via text, which is the whole point. So like we do have a default session duration. If your team has questions on exactly how long that is, feel free to just chat with us. We're happy to share that information as needed. But you can absolutely set up a remember me protocol to ensure that we're not requiring two-factor authentication every single time we log in.
Gotcha. And then the last thing to add there, Ben, is if the admin turns on two-factor authentication for everybody, the user is required to have at least one of the three enabled, whether it's email, SMS, or authenticator. They can have all three if they choose to, but at minimum, they need one. So cool. So I am going to flip back to the slides here to round it up and just go through some Q&A. Just give me a moment here. Yeah, there we go. All right, so are you able to see my screen, Ben?
I am, yes.
Perfect, yeah. So one of the questions is regarding email to SMS. Let's say you have an ongoing conversation. It's not one message. Are these responses managed in one thread, or is each incoming message an email on its own?
It's a great question. So our team kind of deliberated what was the right approach here. And the threading side, takes a little bit of time. But in short answer, no, it doesn't create a threaded view yet. But we would love your feedback on, does that make sense, or is that more intrusive to your team's workflow? We haven't found a clear resonance from our customer base if it's ideal to have a threaded view, like more of an email-based conversation. We've gotten some initial feedback from customers that in some cases, potentially responses get missed or customers don't get answered. And so rather than delaying this feature, we would love your team's feedback on how it's embedded into your workflow with a non-threaded view. And yeah, if we want to use those data-driven decisions based on real-time, real feedback from customers. So to answer the question directly, no, not yet. But we would love your feedback on if that would be the most beneficial way to push those text conversations to an email inbox.
Exactly. One other thing that we forgot to mention about email to SMS is you can map one inbox to multiple emails, right? So let's say you want an inbox to just be CC'd, like just to see what's going on. You have the ability to do that. So in terms of requesting features, this whole webinar was about new features, but I'm sure there is yet another awesome feature around the corner that you need to, even enjoy Sales Message more. So don't hold that feedback. Please head over to feedback.salesmessage.com. You'll see everything in the open, what's planned, what's in progress, what's complete, and then you can make a feature or integration requests over there. Just to give you an example, email to SMS was one of the kind of higher up features that were requested here. And then a week ago, it was marked as complete. So please do let us know what you want us to build next.
Yeah, so dovetailing off of that for just a second. So we have some amazing features on our roadmap for 2023, even Q1, Q2. But our team, as we're looking to prioritize what we want to build, we actively reprioritize based on what our customers vote on, what they tell us to build. So something that's in development right now is our own version of automation, our workflows. Being able to build those text sequence for send a message, set a delay, send a follow-up message, or these if-then branches, things like that. Being able to take your text conversation to the next level by being able to automate those engagements when appropriate. And that has, I think I checked this morning, it was 68 upvotes, 68 different accounts have asked for that. And we're building that right now. As we see the trends and certain features start to tick up on this board, which you have access to directly from your sales message account. You can comment, if you can upvote, you can create new requests if they don't already exist on our board. And as we start to see those trend, we start to swap places for what we prioritize in what order based on those rankings. So please interact with us. Tell us what you need. We want to build what you're going to use the most and what your team is going to get the most value out of. So I can't relay how important your feedback is to us enough. I'm sure you've received you likely received our roadmap survey a couple weeks ago. We reviewed that and actually made some product decisions based on that feedback. So thank you if you've responded to that. If you haven't, please check your email. But if at any time, whether you are just a user of Sales Message and you just have access to send and receive conversations, or you're the account owner and you're the one overseeing the texting engagement for your business, we want to hear feedback from all sides. So please feel free to let us know. And one last thing, selfishly, I would love more time with you guys to be able to dig in on not only what the features within Sales Message can do as the context for this specific webinar, but in 2023, we're changing gears a little bit and doubling up the amount of content that we're going to be pushing out to our customers. And so if you want a little bit more time with myself and the customer success team here at Sales Message, we're actually going to be going through a once a month series on not just how to use Sales Message, but how to use it for a specific purpose. Say you're looking to get some tips and tricks on the most effective call to actions in SMS, or say you're looking for the best ways to build workflows in HubSpot that embed SMS as one of your touch points with your customers, or say you're a little confused about the compliance, or what does opt-in compliance look like. We're going to use those sessions to deep dive into the best practice, but also the practical application of what it looks like end to end for a specific purpose. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out for your email. Those invites will be coming out soon, especially for January and February sessions. I would love to get as much feedback and pre-seed questions or use cases to ensure that those are the most valuable for our customers. So let us know how we can support you with practical application for SMS as we're not only iterating on the product, but iterating on how SMS can be used to drive value for your business.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. And I'm personally looking forward to these webinars. Yeah, so we're at time here. Thank you for attending. And for those who are not able to register and did not make the webinar, we'll send out the recording. If you're new to Sales Message, give it a try. It's free. Add a new channel to your customer engagement stack and see the results starting day one. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great holiday season, and we will see you in the new year.
Take care, everybody.